Welcome back to the channel Gadgets for Gentlemen. In today's video, a quick unboxing or presentation of my latest watch purchase, the Tudor Black Bay 54. As we can see right here, I have the Tudor Catalog opened on the page of the Tudor Black Bay 54. The model can be purchased on two different strap options. There is the oyster style bracelet, the 3-link metal bracelet with faux rivets, and there's the rubber strap with the stainless steel end link. Both amazing strap options in my opinion. I decided to go with this oyster style bracelet. Both of these straps, they have the Tudor T-fit. So we are dealing with a 37mm diameter case, 200 meters of water resist, and we have a manufacturer caliber MT 5400, and I would argue that this watch is maybe a little bit of the successor of the Tudor Black Bay 58 that we can see right here. There's quite some similarities with these watches, but the biggest difference has to come with the case dimensions, 39 millimeters versus 37. Also big difference in terms of the thickness of the case. And with the Tudor Black Bay 58, you can choose for 3 different straps options. There's this fabric strap, leather strap, and the stainless steel metal bracelet. So that is the Tudor Catalog. When I purchased the watch at Ideal Joyeros in Spain, highly recommended. I have the bag here in the background. I also received this beautiful cap by Tudor. So that was a nice little extra that came with the watch. I removed the original metal bracelet that we can see right here with the faux rivets. As we can see, the Tudor T-fit on the clasp, and I threw it on a leather watch strap. Today I am wearing another great watch. This is the Tudor Pelagos FXD on the original 22mm fabric strap with the Velcro material and a titanium buckle with the Tudor logo right here. The jeweler where I bought the watch, Ideal Joyeros in Canary Islands, and this one is in Fuerteventura. Now let's have a closer look. This is the watch box, very typical of Tudor. Some protective materials. Here, this is the inner box, very typical Tudor. Nothing to complain about, but also not something very special compared to, for example, the Omega watch boxes. So inside, of course, there's warranty stuff, and there are some spare links. To make the watch suit my 6.3 inches wrist, we needed to remove 3 links that we can see right here. So if you have bigger wrists than 6.3 inches, you still have 3 more extra links on this metal bracelet that should fit your wrist. But I will also argue that this watch is maybe not the best if you have really big wrists. Then maybe it's better to get like a Tudor Pelagos or the Tudor Pelagos Ultra or the Black Bay 58. With this metal bracelet, 3 more links, that was plenty for my 6.3 inches. If you have larger wrist, you can include these 3 links. But if you have really large wrist, it might not fit your wrist. Now these watch stands, they are from Wristonomy. I will leave a link in the description. Really like the combination of marble, steel and leather. I think it's a great way to store away my watches. Not just storing away them safely, but also very elegant. So one of the reasons for me for buying the Tudor Black Bay 54 is the very improved metal bracelet of the Tudor watch. This clasp now has the Tudor T-fit, which is a bit different from the original Tudor metal bracelet that just comes with those micro adjusts on the side where you can find either hit or miss fit on your wrist. I'm still not a fan of those faux rivets on either of these metal bracelets. I wish Tudor just got rid of those faux rivets and just make a regular oyster style metal bracelet like the bigger brother Rolex. But this clasp, definitely a big improvement compared to the original clasp, although this clasp seems to be slightly longer in terms of the fit on your wrist, as we can see right here. So in length on the wrist, the left, belonging to the Tudor Black Bay 58, might be a little bit more comfortable on the wrist, but with this metal bracelet for the 54, you might get a better fit thanks to the Tudor T-Fit. Now let me demonstrate. This is the 58, beautiful clasp, nice machinery, ceramic ball bearings, nice machined parts, but you just get these micro adjust positions. You need a spring bar tool to change the way you wear it. I usually just carry a spring bar tool with me on the journey, and it's also for me one of the reasons I usually replace the metal bracelet with an aftermarket strap. For example, this beautiful rubber strap by BluShark. Let me demonstrate it. Very comfortable on the wrist, quick release system, as you can see. And because of those 20mm lugs, it's very easy to change out a strap. Now with the 54, as mentioned, we have the Tudor T-Fit. Now let me demonstrate. We open the clasp. Now we have this beautiful shoot right here. I think it's actually prettier than just a name Tudor. This actual shoot sticking out, it is a little bit sharp, but I don't mind. And when we open this, as we can see, still the same machined parts, very nice. But now we can see the Tudor T-Fit right here. And what that means is you can pull it, and then you can find a sort of micro adjust without using any tools. So you pull it and you slide it in the right size for your wrist. Now the length, it's short. You can't adjust it much. It's just a little bit is adjustable. But when you size the watch rightfully to your wrist, I think this is about enough. It's not as long as the Rolex glide lock system where you have much more adjustabilities, but just during the day, for me, this gets the job done. So I can extend it, I can tighten it a little bit by just taking off the watch, adjusting it under a couple of seconds, and throw the watch back on my wrist. So that is the quite excellent metal bracelet. Again, still not a fan of those faux rivets, but you hardly see it when you wear the metal bracelet on your wrist. When you look down at it from a bird's eye view, you hardly see those rivets. You only see them from the side. However, I decided to throw on a leather strap, making the watch wear even more comfortable than a metal bracelet. So this is a beautiful handmade leather strap by Wristbuddys. Very nice quality, quick release spring bars, Wristbuddys, and this is quite a small size and it wears on my wrist quite nice. I will leave a link in the description. So that is the 54. Let me demonstrate it to you. I might do a full video, like a more in-depth video. This is just a quick video to show you the watch, and this is what it looks like on my wrist. It wears very, very well and also very thin, as we can see right here, very thin case profile. We still, just like with the 58, still have that 20mm lug width, making it so easy to find aftermarket straps to fit with that case. And because we have a black dial with some gilt markers, I think this is really a strap monster. I think it will go well with leather straps, rubber straps, especially like a black rubber strap, maybe olive green rubber strap, but also NATO straps. And because now we have such a thin case profile, as we can see right here, a double layer NATO strap doesn't really matter on the wrist. Now in terms of the lug to lug distance, which is this distance, we are still dealing with 47 or 48. I will put in some dimensions here, which means that although the watch is only 37mm in terms of diameter, the watch does not wear small on the wrist. On my 6.3 inch wrist, we can see it's actually still quite long, that lug to lug, making this wear quite masculine if you ask me. Now let's compare it to the Tudor Black Bay 58. Now here we have the Tudor Black Bay 54 on the left. We have the Tudor Black Bay 58 in navy blue on the right. This particular version, as noted in the catalog, can also be purchased in black with some gilt markers. There's a fantastic green and gold version. There's a silver version. There's a bronze version. So plenty of options. The 54, there are two versions right now. There's the Blue Lagoon and this original black version. Now, when we look up close, we can see some differences in terms of the, what can I say, the bezel. We can see with the 58, we have some minute markers on the bezel from 0 to 15. We can see these markers at every minute, which I think looks really nice. And that is missing with the 54, which I think is a pity. I would have preferred those minute markers on the 54 as well. I think that just looks even better. Now with the 58 we have a snowflake hand on the seconds. Here at the 6 o'clock we can see it right here. Now with the 54 we just have a lollipop. So that is another difference. Now with the navy blue Tudor, we have a combination of matte blue dial, and we have a silver markers, silver hands, silver markers. Now with the 54 we have they call it a sunburst dial, which means it's not matte, it's not glossy, but it's a bit of a combination. I think in the daylight it looks more matte than glossy, but sometimes it actually does look very dark depending on the light. And we have some gilt markers on the dial, but on the bezel we only have silver markers. So we have a bit of a combination between gold, silver, different shades of black, while the navy blue is a bit more, maybe more sterile, because it's just blue, white and silver. We have a different crown. The crown is much smaller here with the 54 by comparison here with the 58. The crown on the 58 is actually much bigger. It's easier to operate compared to the smaller crown with the 54. However, the 54, I think it's called knurling. It's much better. It's easier to operate because of that knurling. And with the 58, that knurling is far less aggressive. Same applies to the bezel. The knurling on the 54 is different. It's more grippy. To rotate is very easy. With the 58 it's harder to grab the bezel, but it still functions very nicely. So these are some differences in terms of dial, bezel, crown. Now the biggest difference in my opinion has to do with the thickness. Now we see with the 54 on the left, it's far reduced compared to the 58 and making it wear amazing. Now the biggest difference in terms of wearing experience has to be the diameter. So we have 37 here on the left, 39 on the right. For me, and I wear glasses, the 58 is easier to read. The dial is just easier to read at a glance. It's still doable, but for me personally, it's a little bit more difficult to read minutes on the 54. So that was just a quick first impression with the Tudor Black Bay 54, my latest watch purchase. So far really liking the wearing experience of the 54. So one more time comparing the wearing experience of the 54 compared to the 58. Should you upgrade? I don't think so. These are very different watches in the way they wear, the way they look. And but definitely you can see they have many similarities as well in terms of those hands, in terms of the shape of the case. And finally, also maybe funny to point out the differences between this vintage inspired diver and a more modern take on the dive watch by Tudor, the Pelagos FXD, which is a 42 millimeter titanium diver very rugged. Ceramic bezel insert, a little bit thicker. And this more classy looking, vintage inspired Tudor watch. And here we can also see the difference between a more of a traditional vintage inspired watch and a more modern dive watch between the Black Bay 58 and the Tudor Pelagos FXD. Now that was my quick look at my latest watch purchase, the Tudor Black Bay 54. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this watch and the other watches in my watch collection. Have a fantastic day and I look forward to having you on my channel soon. Take care.